to Rodgers and Hart, my musical, which I wrote some years ago. We're at the Queen's Room Orchestra on the Queen Mary 2 now, at the Queen's Room, and I'm going to be doing it with a fantastic orchestra called the Queen's Room Orchestra. A wonderful trumpetist, Larry Merigalano, and some of the boys there. I think you'll enjoy it. I hope so. Fingers crossed for a good show.
Tonight we celebrate one of the most successful partnerships in the history of the American musical theatre, that of composer Richard Rodgers and lyricist Lorenz Hart. For over 50 years, Richard Rodgers wrote some of the most beautiful music of our time, and for nearly half of those years, his music was exactly matched by Lorenz Hart's witty and bittersweet lyrics. But in 1942, when Rodgers began working with a new partner, Oscar Hammerstein II, the remarkable thing was not that he finally broken away from Hart, that the two had never worked successfully together at all. For in every respect, save and talent, they could not be more different. Richard Rodgers was a budding 60-year-old composer when he was taken along to the Hart home to meet 23-year-old Larry Hart, a tiny, gnome-like man with a growing reputation for turning out intricate and inventive lyrics. In that one afternoon, Rodgers admitted he acquired a new partner, a new career, a best friend, and a source of permanent irritation. Let's hear a song. This is from Spring This Year. pathway to success for Rodgers and Hart was not an easy one, but after some 5 years of disappointment and frustration, and with Richard Rodgers about to pack it all in and become a salesman, they were asked to write music by a group of young actors for a benefit show at the Garrick Theatre on Broadway. One single Sunday night performance, no money, just a showcase. Well, on the night of that performance of the Garrick Gaieties, which the boys had called their show, something quite extraordinary happened. The theatre was in uproar. Everybody was cheering, clapping, refusing to leave until they heard their hit song one more time. Well, the cast sang it, the musicians sang it, the audience sang it, even the stage hands and usherettes sang it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the song that after 5 years of disappointment and frustration finally turned the tables for Rodgers and Hart. I wonder if you know it. See? Summer journeys to Niagara and to other places aggravate all our cares. We'll save our affairs. I, a little cozy flat in what is known as Old Manhattan, we'll settle down right here in town. You know? We'll have Manhattan, the Bronx and Staten Island too. It's lovely going through the zoo. It's very fancy on old little Annecy Street. The subway charms us so, where foggy breezes blow to and fro. And tell me what street compares with my street in July. Street pushcarts every glide. The great big city, the one is born, just made for a girl and boy. We'll turn Manhattan into an island of joy. We'll go young, where to love country life, and start together dear in child. We're gonna pony and keep on the road. In Central Park we'll stroll, where our first kiss we stole. A short vacation on inspiration day with you, and recognize his name with you. Our cities never can never spoil the dreams of a boy and girl. We'll turn Manhattan into an island of joy. Let's keep that one more time, boys. Our cities never can never spoil the dreams of a boy and girl. We'll turn Manhattan into an island of joy. Well, those were indeed heady days for the two young college boys, as they were called. They were in schools for the top theatrical managements in both London and New York. Their musical output and invention was quite amazing. Richard Rodgers even needed a piano as a composer. He could write songs merely by sitting at a desk. He wrote songs funny, sad, and romantic. Hart, who was particularly adept at writing rhymes within rhymes. His use of triple rhymes, interior rhymes, false rhymes was astonishingly clever. And boy, was he fast. He could write songs anytime, any place, anywhere. All he needed was a pencil and paper, a big fat cigar, and considerable bully by his partner. Success didn't change Larry one little bit. He was still the same likable, self-destructive kid he'd always been, impossible to pin down, reluctant to work. He'd spend a few hours hammering out a song over a piano with Rogers, and then he'd grab his hat and be gone, heading for the cheap bars and low dives where he always felt at home. Yes, his lyrics, despite all of Rogers' entreaties to get him to deliver them on time, suited his music perfectly. Because I can so no stop, no stop. I just can't do what I get home. Is it stuck? My head is stuck in those eyes. My heart does not just hear it beat. This is too sweet to sometimes there would be a completed melody which Hart would have to try to fit the lyrics to, or sometimes a word or a title would set Rogers' imagination racing. For example, they were in Paris, coming back from a party, when their car narrowly missed a taxi by inches. One of their entourage suddenly shouted, "Boy, my heart stood still." "Wow, that's a great title for a song," said Larry Hart. And a few weeks later, Dick Rogers went up to him and said, "By the way, I put music to that title." "What title?" said Larry, who completely forgot the incident by this time. "Why, this title," said Dick Rogers, and began to play Steve. I took one look at you, that's all I meant to do, and then that's right. It's pretty easy. Let's do another one. My feet began to walk, my lips could move and talk, and yet my heart. It's true, it really is. After writing a couple of hit shows in London, the pair set sail back to America. And on the voyage home, Richard Rogers fell in love. It was a classic shipboard romance, and by the time the Majestic steamed into New York Harbor, Richard Rogers had made up his mind that Dorothy Byler was the only girl for him. It was a perfect marriage, and inspired him to write some of his most romantic and eloquent love songs, just like this one. Ladies and gentlemen, my very good friend, Mr. Paul Ritchie.
It seems we stood and talked like this before. We looked at each other the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. happened for the